So Nigel, we are live.
Good morning, and giving a false impression this morning, I'm afraid, Colonel, that
Yes.
I'm actually warm.
Oh,
Because it's about 4 degrees outside in Melbourne. It's snowing in Tasmania.
Is it?
And
I didn't know
I
that.
imagine all the people at the mountains are loving the fact the last weekend of the school holidays has turned up with amazing snow.
a little bit of powder.
But I wore, foolishly, a green jacket to the studio this
Yeah.
morning. Can't wear that, can I?
You could have gone like Alan did at Christmas with his psychedelic invisible party hat. And then everyone wrote in and...
It would have been the psychedelically floating head. So I'm forced to just wear my T-shirt here in Studio B. How's your week been?
It's been pretty good, Sir Nigel. I have a bit of a guitar arrival or two.
Nice.
Lots of new lessons, lots of new students.
That's
in.
good.
Hello, if you're watching.
You should
Come on down.
come in and enjoy some of this yourselves, young people.
Yes, yeah. Bit of clean up in the studio, as you can see, which is rare.
Oh, it is. And this studio is looking fabulous, I have to say.
We have the big boss, the real boss, coming in at 11:30 today. Uh-oh.
Phoebe.
Phoebe
Yes.
and Team Lily, Team Phoebe. If you haven't seen Lily in the shop for quite a few years, she'll be back. It could be a one-time only appearance.
Who knows? She
Like
might
Kate
go,
Bush.
what do you do here? Nothing. All day.
That sounds... you've met her before then. So, how was your week, Nigel?
Oh, it was crazy. Literally crazy. Went to New Zealand straight after the show last week.
Yes.
And called in to see my utterly Alzheimer's-ridden, insane mother. She was nice to me, but committed violence upon a staff member at the old people's home afterwards, which I am being blamed. So
Murder or just assault?
Just assault and battery. So she's in solitary confinement, which is I don't know. That being old sucks, mate. We've got to enjoy these days while we can, I believe.
Got to enjoy being 30.
And get onto the music, because I'm sure if she'd learnt guitar, she wouldn't have copped Alzheimer's quite so badly.
Yeah, got to keep your mind working. I was listening to the radio last night, and they had some callers talking about things that your crazy mother does. And one lady rang in and said, "Yeah, my crazy mother bought me a wig for my for my birthday." And they said, "Oh yeah, what colour was it?" "Well, it was an exact copy of my own hair."
Wow.
Because you need, just in case something goes wrong, you know.
It's true. So what are we doing today? It's the middle of winter. Are we playing some winter songs?
Yes.
Or what are we doing?
We're talking Live Aid, Sir Nigel.
That's
You put me onto this during the week. Sir Nigel, man of all things happening in the world.
Homo trivius, I am. The trivial man.
I'm loving that Homo Deus book that you put me onto. It's very cool.
Isn't it
amazing.
Insightful? It doesn't end well. I don't know if you're up to the finish.
Oh, no, not yet.
No, we're not a great species, and we don't deserve much more than this. We're going to end up like this bloke here, I'm afraid. It's
definitely one of those books that I think 100 or 200 years down the track, you probably look back and as an examination of the forecast and different things. It's 30 years.
34 years, I believe.
34 years?
1985 was Live Aid.
Okay. Wow.
Now, Live Aid's been in the news this year because we all went to see Freddie Mercury, the movie.
Yeah,
Queen.
yes.
And as much as it was factually dodgy, quite stunning in its concert recreation. That was the scene for me.
Yes.
Was Live Aid. Now that was voted in 2005 the greatest live performance by a band ever.
Wow.
So what I love though is YouTube. How good's YouTube? To be able to go back and do the kind of
look at
revisiting.
the 4x3 clips. I wonder, did anyone think of shooting it on like 35mm or in movie quality back then?
It's crazy,
Obviously
but
not.
of course no mobile phones, so there's really only the official sources. So I went through a fair old few because I thought I'd ask you this morning, what's your highlight of the? What do you reckon? What was the best guitar playing / gun slinging band on the day?
Well, I watched a massive chunk of that concert. I was at home at the Gap in Brisbane.
You're like 6 years old.
Sadly I was not, but I wish I was. But yeah, I can remember it really well. So Queen was fantastic. I stayed up and watched Bowie. I love Bowie.
Bowie had to follow Queen.
That's right. Yeah.
What? And I agree with you. I think Bowie's vocal performance
Great.
Particularly, it's far beyond, looking at it on YouTube, it's far beyond my memory of it at the time.
Yes. Yeah. It's super
Those
amazing.
backup singers, it's stunning. Stunning.
One memory, well, two really clear memories I have. Paul McCartney's Let It Be at the end.
Yep.
And Mick Jagger and Tina Turner dancing together and doing I can't even remember what song it was, but I remember that at the time, and I thought that was so fantastic. And then just recently I went back and had a look at that Mick Jagger, Tina Turner.
Yeah.
And it's like two people who have not rehearsed anything, and Mick Jagger's sort of prancing around. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I thought it was pretty good at the time. But what are your highlights, Sir Nigel?
Look, technologically, I'm deeply admiring what the crowd. Like we're what was it? How long before we managed it? We were 20 minutes late getting on this morning. This tiny studio.
Yeah. We need to do a tune.
Tiny studio getting on. Just the technology in this room.
Yes.
1985. They're trying to do a transatlantic live feed.
Yes.
Astonishing thing.
Yes.
With nothing like the broadcast technology we have today. I watched Glastonbury live in London.
Yes.
And you might as well have been there. The high-res cameras, the mix, all
amazing.
those kind of things. And these guys were attempting the impossible
Yes.
with the technology. And, it didn't come off all the time. So there's actually several feeds of this concert, which people don't understand, that now in the creation of the DVD, there was a lot of refixing, and there's a lot of stuff didn't make the concert, and that's actually what I'm going to claim as my favourite.
Oh, okay.
It's something that didn't make the feed. It actually made a sub-feed to Europe.
Wow.
But didn't get to London because of technical problems. George Thorogood.
George Thorogood, really?
George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Only a 3-song set, but that's the one you have to YouTube because he's got his mates on. He's got Bo Diddley on.
Wow. I did not know
So
that.
Bo Diddley comes on with his funny cigar box shaped Gretsch guitar.
Yes.
And rips it up with George, who's very generous with the stage space and performance. And then they play another one, and Madison Blues. So Madison Blues, I love that song. It's only got like 3 lines to remember. I'd love to see Travis Winters play the Madison Blues, by the way.
He popped in yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Yeah, hadn't seen him in a while.
And who do you reckon he brings on for Madison Blues? All the way from Chicago. No
John Lee Hooker.
Albert King.
Albert King.
Albert King with the,
you're right.
with the
I don't ever remember seeing
screaming
that,
Telecaster. And that's the set, folks. Just George Thorogood and Destroyers late in the mid-afternoon in America.
Wow.
And that's the one. So as much as Live Aid produced some remarkable performances from the likes of Queen and Bowie.
Excuse me, Sir Nigel.
You've got cable.
Having lots of tech issues today. We're just going to go. We're going to do something old-fashioned here.
You're going to use. So I notice you're eschewing your new digital amplifier and are using that ancient vintage Blues Junior valve thing.
We do not. We have a dastardly lead. So Nigel,
it's the cause of 99% of performance errors, isn't it?
Yes, it is, sir. Would you be so kind as to reach up in the sky?
I'm going to have to stand up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm plugged in.
Live. This is what we do. This is like Live Aid.
Yeah, it is. It is
This is
actually
Live Aid, but
very like Live Aid. I can't imagine what it was like in the production room of that thing. And but that was the beginning of it. Our expectation now is that we can watch Coachella live, that we can watch Glastonbury live, we can do all these things and get a high-res DVD or download from Netflix afterwards. That started in 1985 at Live Aid. Do you want to just try another guitar, mate?
Well, I have no sound.
You got none. You're playing acoustically this morning.
I'm playing acoustic. I think so.
That's right.
Yes, acoustic. Excuse me, folks. I'll tell you this little story while I'm just mucking about here. So, I see. I can identify what has happened.
It's called the volume.
It's called someone's bumped the volume. I'd say.
Yes.
Mainly me.
That Yeah, there we
Hello,
go.
there we
Now
go.
we're away. Now we're away.
Did you try turning it on, sir?
Have we got any visitors who've tolerated our numptiness this morning
We
at
do.
Live Aid 2019?
Yes, we do. Michael Ray is on. Michael Ray. Scott Newitt. Hello, Michael Ray. Michael Ray says, good morning. Gents, bloody freezing today.
I know. What
Yes,
was
it's
what
cold.
were you all doing on the 13th of July 1985, folks? I tell you what, I hope you're in the northern hemisphere.
Who watched it? Let us know. My cousin is on from Quebec. He's probably laughing, thinking it's cold here because it's about 9 degrees here, Daniel. So that's summer over there? I think.
Yeah.
Michael Cook is on. Customer of ours, Les Paul Gibson. Hello, Les Paul. I still have your Les Paul. It's sitting here. I haven't done a demo. Mark Teague. FYI,
Oh, Mark
Albert
Teague is 6 feet under in snow at the moment in Tasmania.
Is it cold down there, Mark Teague?
They've just closed my favourite mountain bike park in Tasmania for the 3 feet of snow that's on it.
He says, for your information, Albert Collins is the Screaming Telecaster Fellow. Did you say Albert Collins or Albert King?
I must have said Albert King because that's why he's correcting me like an expert. Nice work.
Hello, thank you, Mark Teague. Did you know? Did you hear this awful story? Awful story, Nigel. About this young
Warning dad joke coming.
dad joke. Let me just flick on the dad joke lights
Yeah.
behind me, and this is not to offend Noah, but you'll see where it goes.
Right.
This poor guy. He was in a terrible car accident. He was coming home from a gig. He'd just done a gig, guitarist, and he was in a terrible car accident. And he was in a coma in hospital, and he woke up from his coma, I should say. And they said, the first thing he said is did you save the guitar? And the doctor said, yes, we saved the guitar, but you'll never be able to play guitar again. You've got brain damage,
Yep.
you've got a broken back, you've lost your left leg, you've lost the use of your right arm.
Yep.
So we all chipped in and bought you a bass. Thank you.
He's here all week to try the veal, ladies and gentlemen. What are you playing this morning, Colonel?
So Nigel, I have an Orville by Gibson. Now this is
What's an Orville by Gibson?
a Japanese-made Gibson. Now, if you're watching and you're thinking, no, that can't be right, they never made guitars in Asia. Well, they did. And they made them in Japan for a little while under the name of Orville Gibson. And there's two types of Orvilles. There's the type 1 that just has Orville on the headstock. And then there's type 2, and it's Orville by Gibson. And they're the higher end models. So they have real
God,
ebony.
What's the inlay?
Real ebony
Cool.
American pickups. I'm hoping they're still original on this thing.
Yeah.
And so it feels like a proper Les Paul custom. It's just a Japanese-made Les Paul
And it's got
custom.
that beautiful kind of Australia map headstock.
It does indeed, sir.
Right.
So there you are. If you can't see that, now I'll tell you what, Sir Nigel. Here we go. We're gonna
camera
try.
2? Camera 2?
Yeah, we're gonna go camera
People
2.
probably don't know what I mean by
There
map
you
of
go.
Australia headstock.
Camera 2. Ooh. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Camera 2. Oh!
God almighty, you just made them
Okay.
very, very ill.
Camera 2 is here. Let's have a look, folks.
There's the headstock. Look at that.
Orville
by Gibson.
There you are.
What year is that?
This one is, let's have a look at the serial. So, I'm going to say 93,
Okay.
1993.
It's a solid vintage.
Yeah, it's cool, hey?
That's
So,
almost as old as Live Aid.
nice weight. Should I show people the new studio?
No, it's
No.
a secret.
It's a magic.
It's a, don't
Ruin
break,
the magic there.
Don't break
so.
the fourth wall. No, that's all we do is break the fourth wall. That's why we're here.
Now, Nigel, should we do a song?
Yeah, because I just chose the other end of town because I've got one of those Tokais that's still
Oh,
in the
yes,
store, which is
yes.
insane to me. Because
Yeah, we had a Tokai sale, and it's the last one. It's the last one.
Well, so they were like $1,000. What are?
Yes.
What are you letting this one go for a good price?
Yeah, it's like $650 or something. So $700.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is insane for a guitar as cool as this.
Yes, sir.
Looks fantastic and
It does.
plays fantastic.
Yes, yes. Now, I thought we would have a look at Heroes by Bowie. which is one of the great performances.
I think that's a great place to start. He does an amazing job of Heroes.
He does, and it's a makeshift band. He just put the band together like the day before or something ridiculous. So
wow.
This is an easy one. I'm not going to do all the Robert Fripp lead and whatnot. We're just going to strum some chords along.
Do you know who his keyboard player is?
The Bowie band, or on
the make-up Bowie band pulls some blokes together at the concert. Who plays keys?
I don't know.
You'll need to be an 80s aficionado to appreciate this.
I think I do know it. Is it Thomas Dolby?
Thomas Dolby.
Boom.
Yeah, fantastic.
Down, down, da 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 down, down, da 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 down.
Yeah, he can play too. I think he makes it. To be honest, his keys on this are
he's killer.
Off the planet. So we don't have Thomas Dolby this morning. What are we going to do?
We're going to do...
How many chords does it have? That's the
It's not too bad. Oh, yes, I should
break
show
it-
you.
break
Well,
it
it's
down for me,
basically,
man.
it's D to G. D. Then C.
Yep.
D. And then I think it's A minor. E minor. D.
That's a good song, Colonel.
That's a good song. Especially for today.
That's 4 chords, just 4 chords.
I've used up
4 chords.
98% of my brain battery trying to get all this stuff sorted. So I need an easy one. Let's do it, folks. We're going to play along.
Heroes.
With
It's
Heroes.
a wonderful song, and he does an amazing performance of it. Look it up on the internet, folks. Or we were starting with a D.
Yeah. Yep. That's a G.
I'd like to thank and introduce my band who got together so quickly to do this show for me. I live forever in their debt. Lead guitar, Kevin Armstrong. Bass guitar, Matthew Seligman. On percussion, Pedro Ortiz. On drums, Neil Conte. On saxophone, Claire Hurst. And on vocals, Helena and Teresa Smith. And on synthesizers and keyboards, the very brilliant Thomas Dolby.
I'll do it. Wow.
Sir Nigel.
It goes on. Like,
does
it's
go
an
on.
epic performance. I was given the tight time schedules for the
Yes,
day,
yes.
and they've really locked down.
I read that
our
you...
Queen mates just before
Yes.
to 20 minutes. They're having to. It's an extravagant production of Heroes.
I think... do you think, Sir Nigel, that performers of that era, as a whole, have more talent than performers of this era? Like, it's very hard for me to imagine someone who just puts a band together, jumps up on stage, and does a few hits and sings as well as he does. There are people who can do it.
I think there are people that can do it. I think there's brilliance of songwriting. I mean, how many chords was that? 4. And
4 or 5 chords.
He would have been happy with me being, like he says, is there any guitarists in the wings that'd like to come on? Yes, I'll come on and I'll play power chords on your song that you spent weeks and weeks sweating over with the chord progression.
Well,
but it sounded all right. I don't mind. It's like a bit of punk.
Apparently, he wanted a Velvet Underground style song.
Yeah,
That's what he wanted, so he went with that.
Nice.
That's pretty cool, isn't
It's
it?
a mighty fine song. It's a mighty fine song.
Now, Nigel, let's have a look who was on
Yes.
at the moment.
Let's
See if we have some more people.
Salute to the fans while
Salute
I
to the
change my
fans.
guitars. 'Cause
Yes, let's do a
as
change.
brilliant as that Tokai is, I did note this morning that
Well, good morning, Chris Gould.
this was still in the store,
Mark
and
T.
I'm having it.
Ah, yes, it's very nice. Mark T says cold and wet in Tassie, yes.
Yeah.
It's 27 degrees in Quebec City at the
Damn.
moment.
I
So
think it was about that on the day in London and in, where was it, New
dear.
York, something like that, where they, Philadelphia maybe, where they
I'm
shot
gonna switch guitars as well.
Excuse
me 1 second.
the American leg of it. The American leg, of course, started at 7 in the morning, which would have been pretty unpopular time to have to go to a stadium and listen to a giant concert. But
Yeah.
gee, you tied yourself in there. These studio logistics we need to talk to the production manager about. You've sat on your puck, but you've got another one here.
Don't worry, that was not me straining under the weight of this Les Paul. That wouldn't be right, because
Comedy Gold.
live TV. Did I tell you my joke about did I tell you my bass player joke? No,
Yes, you did.
I've
I don't
done
want
that
to.
one. You don't want to relive that?
No, I've had enough of that one. That's
yes.
for sure. Hey, I've read a book this week.
Oh yes, what is it?
It's a book I'm going to recommend. It's called Rockonomics.
Rockonomics.
And
Okay.
it's
Tell me about that.
Quite a famous American economist has decided that he's looking for clues as to what's going to happen in our economy, a bit like Homo Deus is giving us clues as to what's going to happen in our society.
Yes.
And he wanted to see what the canary in the coal mine was for adoption of crazy new ways of doing business.
Yes.
And he picked on the music industry.
Fair enough.
And so with the demolition of the traditional industry in the 90s with Napster, then Spotify and streaming and the atomization of the product,
Yes.
peer-to-peer and all those kind of things, he goes, you know what, it's quite feasible that the music industry is a forerunner of what's going to happen to the rest of us. And I'll tell you what, there's some gruesome truths in there about money and bands and music. And
Is there any money
no,
in bands anymore?
No,
Not
there's
really.
not. And there's none in music production. That's kind of the bottom line of it, is that, and there's such a risk in it that the artist will be screwed royally in all directions to get it done. So you take a big band that's really making a lot of money today, they're making money from touring.
Yes.
90% of their money is from merch and touring.
That's probably why all of those old bands are back touring.
They're totally back on the road because nothing coming from their recording. And I noticed St. Ali, the coffee shop across the road, have got the same view. They're full of merch today. You've got 5 different kinds of t-shirt.
Yeah.
Where's our merch, Colonel?
I need some merch. We used to have the Guitar Colonel t-shirts. I'll bring them back.
Let's have a think about that. Maybe a puck.
A puck, a Guitar Colonel puck.
Yep.
Have I told you the story of the guy who wanted to work here?
Did he realise that you don't actually pay money?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, after I didn't pay him anything for 6 months.
The only people who can work here are dogs or family who don't expect to be paid.
They'll all be here today. The dog is out there ready to serve you, and the family will be in ready to...
No, so you had a bloke who wanted...
I received this mystery package in the mail, Sir Nigel, and It was a box, and I opened
Was
up
it
the box.
white powder?
White powder, sadly not. No,
Yeah.
and I opened the box, and it was hundreds and hundreds of pucks, as you would say, with guitar kernel
Nice.
written on the pick.
No, that's
And
very
I thought, that's
flattering,
cool.
isn't it?
I had no idea where it had come from. Absolutely no
Nice.
idea. For like a month goes by. I've got this huge box. I'm thinking, oh, it must be a promo from a company.
Obviously.
In walks this guy. He says, look, I'm here. I want to work with you. And I said, and your name is, sir? He's like, I'm the guy who sent the pics. And it was, yeah.
He's the pick stalker.
Pick stalker. So if you wanted an interview or a job with Sir Nigel, you send a mystery box of stuff.
Yeah, no, don't. I don't have any jobs.
Coffee. What do you like? You like coffee?
Was his name Nuck the Puck?
Might have been Nuck. Nat Abuda's on.
Oh, Nat. Good morning,
He's,
Nat.
Hello, Nat.
I'll
Michael
tell-
Ray. So, yes, go.
I was going to say, so I'm in a lot of travel. So I watched,
Yeah.
the other thing is I watched The Casketeers.
Yes.
Now, if you haven't seen this, folks, this is a brilliant New Zealand reality show set in South Auckland with a family of undertakers.
Yes.
And it's just like, if you want a snapshot of what is beautiful about living in New Zealand and that society and that community, watch The Casketeers reality show. 3 series now. It's just beautiful. And these people are dealing with death, and they don't hide that. But this family run this amazing Onehunga, South Auckland place, and they're so beautiful with the people, and like, it's actually really a good thing to watch because we're all going to die, Colonel. And
Not me.
There's a great
I will
moment
be
early on.
immortal. I've just got to make it to 2050. That's what Homo Deus has said to me.
Yeah, you'll get
Nigel.
uploaded into, as long as you're not uploaded into that computer, you'll be fine.
I'm just going to be uploaded. I'll upload myself into Shootin' the Strings forever, and it'll just be, you can't see me in person, but you just tune in live, and I'll be here.
Yeah, so let's talk about the next song.
Yes,
Because you've
Nigel, let's do
chosen
it.
controversially, and I
Yes.
think we need to set the scene, right? Because
Yes.
we've had Bowie.
Yes.
So Bowie slays after Queen. This concert cannot get any better. So after that comes The Who,
Yeah.
Windmills. Who cares about quality? That's all good.
Yep.
Elton John, who does a half decent job.
Is that with George Michael? Gibson?
That was Kiki D and with Wham. So technically not
Wow,
George Michael,
okay.
but Wham, the other George Michael. Then, just to make it difficult for the sort of penultimate act that
Yes.
we're about to have a crack at, back comes on Freddie Mercury.
Right.
Now, I'd never seen this. How ignorant am I? I had no idea. So Freddie comes back.
Loud. Someone. No, is that me? Oh, no.
It's
It's
not
one of
me.
them. Oh, it'll be the top one. There we go.
So Freddie and Brian come back on. Brian with an acoustic guitar.
Right. Freddie
And-
and Brian.
Yeah, get a one-off shot
Right.
just to warm the people up for the greatest act of all time who'll come on afterwards. Do one song.
What
And it's-
song did they do?
It's like, is this the world we've created or something? Is this the world we created? It's like, it's a real topical, on-point song about.
Right.
And you
Did
know,
they do that because there was sound problems?
I don't know. Maybe they had it planned already. But it's the warm-up to the penultimate act, which was highly, highly political.
Yes.
So they needed to bring on someone who the British government would go, okay, well, if he's playing it, this must be not just you long-haired Irish
Irish
louts, you know,
louts, IRA louts.
and Midgewer. And so this is where the Paul McCartney moment happens. So Paul was
Now something.
arm twisted into doing this.
Oh, really?
And there's so much political controversy around
I
Live
did not
Aid, which
know
Mike
this.
Ray would know about. He knows all about global political controversy.
Michael, what happened?
But you know, the worst one
I'll
is
just
that
open the door and
where
ask
did
him.
where did the money go? The £150 million.
Yes. Well, you know something. Huey Lewis.
We've been chucked off.
Oh, no. Hang on a minute.
Ah, hold on. It's rebooting
Oh.
itself. Well, you'll see this on the
Very-
recording, this exciting moment when we lost our live feed.
Oh, we can go live again. We'll go back.
Go on.
All right. We're going to go live
We've
again.
got
I'm
10
not
minutes
sure.
to go.
We've got
mate.
10 minutes.
Relive it.
Relive it. Let's do it, folks.
That's what they did at Live Aid. I mean, they did to do that
Oh, there we
every
go.
3 minutes or so.
Are we still on?
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure.
It could be.
Oh, okay, it could in fact be just a little
glitch.
glitch in the matrix.
Which if you were doing the production of Live Aid, you'd have had to put up with.
Well, okay.
So no, the controversies
We'll see.
extend all the way to from Sir Bob Geldof's bullying of people to play.
Yes.
Those who didn't turn up.
Yes.
Because they thought it was going to be bullshit.
I heard that Huey Lewis didn't do it because he didn't believe that the money would go to the correct.
And Huey was right.
Huey was right.
So £150 million later, a
Yes.
fair chunk of it went to buy automatic weapons for the military.
Wow. Okay.
Because they just couldn't feed the money into the right place. Africa is an incredibly complex place. To get
Yes.
£150 million to the people who are starving
Yeah.
is no simple task. It's still not a simple task today. Médecins Sans Frontières, for example, had deeply criticised what they were going to attempt to do, going, you stupid, naive, white English blokes have got no idea.
African dictators take any of
Yes,
that money? They did.
It is. Ended up in bribes to all those people to try and facilitate it. And Geldof said, I don't care if I have to bribe a dictator to get money to a hungry person, but I don't know. That he didn't. It's just very naive, and
Dear.
but that's what happens when Boy George has an idea. That's all I can say. Do you know this was? You know, it was Boy George's idea.
I did not know that.
So the story goes that
He must have been high.
So 1984, October 84, the BBC do an incredible doco on Ethiopia and the military dictatorship that's basically put the entire band of that geography in crisis for food.
Yes.
So that footage is deeply impactful on a lot of people in the UK, and so it's October, and so a few of the musicians decide to put together a "Do They Know It's Christmas Time at All?"
Yes.
And in no time, like
So you've
between
answered my question because I was trying to put the dates together. Did that come first?
Yeah, it did. That's where they all
there you
met,
go.
and then Boy George has he just loves what they did,
Yes.
and they get to perform it live. He's going, you know what? We should amp this up. We should make this a thing. We should have an entire festival. And
See
what's,
what you
what's
can
the
do.
irony about that? He doesn't play.
That's true.
I'm not
I
even
think
sure
you're right.
he
I
got
don't
an
recall
invitation,
seeing him.
but
Yeah.
it
I
goes
wonder
from
why
there.
he didn't play.
So that's Christmas. They have the idea.
Maybe they broke up.
Effusively brilliant, kind of, let's do an entire, and then Geldof says, let's do it across 2 continents, get a map. We don't want 5,000 people turning up at Wembley Stadium. We want 170,000 people.
Yes.
And a global audience of over 1 billion.
It's pretty big.
So it's
big
bigger
for them.
bigger than the moon landing.
Yes.
Which we won't talk about because we're going to talk about that next Saturday.
I think it was the most watched at that particular
It
time.
was something like 40% of the adult television audience of the entire planet.
Wow. That's pretty good.
So it's a big couple of weeks. So Live Aid anniversary, moon landing anniversary next weekend.
Next
These are
weekend.
tumultuous times, which all happen in the Northern Hemisphere summer while we're freezing our asses off down under.
Moon landing turning 50
Okay, so-
makes me feel bad.
Yeah, I know.
Because,
I know.
I'm from
That era.
that era.
Well, let's talk McCartney because
Yes.
this is.
What happened, Nigel?
This is.
You were there. I need to know.
The second worst performance of the entire show.
Wow. Okay. See, I remember that very clearly, and I remember it was Pete Townsend and maybe Bowie or something came on in the background.
Alison Moyet.
Oh right.
Yeah, so technically disastrous.
Wow.
And what do you reckon the first worst performance at Live Aid is genuinely, universally agreed to be?
Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin. Oh,
Terrible.
my God.
Terrible. I watched a bit of it last night, and it's like, okay, number one, Jimmy Page is out of his mind.
He's out of his mind.
I have a great Jimmy Page story. I'll tell you very quickly.
I've got a great Jimmy Page story too. Let's hear yours,
All
and
right.
then we'll play on this on the way out. you know?
So a buddy of mine, my best friend up in Brisbane, hello Andrew if you're watching, used to have a girlfriend from New York who was a model in the 80s. She was a bit older than us.
Yes.
She would have been, she was about 7, 8 years older. So she
Wow,
was
I can't
modeling.
imagine what attracted your young friend to her at all.
So she was modeling in LA, and part of her management agency said, can you go down to wherever it was, some hotel?
Yep.
We've got cameras and things going. There's going to be some rock stars there. We need you to just go down and mingle and pretend
Be
that
the
you're
beautiful people.
Be the beautiful people.
Like things like you and I get called
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the time to do.
Hello, is that Colonel the beautiful one? Yes, it is.
Yep.
What would you like, sir? Or madam? And anyway, so she went down, and the story goes that she was sitting on a couch much like this. It was her, Jimmy Page, and another model, and they were taking photos. And he was so high on whatever Jimmy was up to that he was literally he was sliding off the couch.
Yeah.
Very slowly, but kind of passed out. And
No.
Anyway, but yeah.
And Phil
what's your
Collins,
story?
Phil Collins shames himself drumming.
Oh dear, shocking.
It's truly the most dire, but the second most dire is Paul McCartney.
Oh dear.
Let It Be.
Wow.
So there was no sound for the first 2 minutes. There was keys, and the song's only 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
So as you wisely note, the organisers came on to try and rescue him with handheld mics. Do a terrible job. Don't know the words.
Yeah. So he went back and he redid the vocal.
You're remembering the DVD.
Wow.
Where he insists, like, so Jimmy Page and Led Zeppelin, they just say that's never appearing publicly.
Wow.
They just cut it. It's out. It's not. They'll sue the pants for all 150 million pounds raised if that performance ever appears on a DVD. Wow. Of course, now it's sneaked. It's out on YouTube
it's on
and those kind of
YouTube, you can
places.
see it.
Whereas Sir Paul McCartney, being a gentleman, just says, we'll re-record that.
We'll re-record it. We'll do it again.
So they do, and I'm not a fan. It's like it was a terrible ending to a most remarkable concert.
Well, let's do it then.
Let's redeem Let It Be.
I absolutely hate it, but
let's redeem it.
Let's redeem it. Well, let's
equally, this is
yes,
controversial song because it's off that last Beatles album. And,
yes, and Lennon didn't like it.
No,
but you're on the Lennon guitar.
We're going to wind up all the things because I'm going to go and see that the movie today. I'm going to go and see this. The Beatles movie, what is it?
The one where
Yesterday.
Oh, that's supposed to be be good. I'd like to see that.
Well, I'm going to find out this afternoon. But yeah, so let's wind up the amazing 34th anniversary of Live Aid.
Yes, I'm just going to say a quick hello. Michael Ray says I was in Innisfail, far north Queensland. Yes, I know where it is. Watching Live Aid.
There you go.
I was simultaneously thrilled and horrified by Led Zeppelin's performance with Phil Collins. He has a lot to answer for, Phil Collins. Dwayne Jenkins, g'day. Bill Hatzisevros, hello.
He's enjoying his new guitar, I wonder.
Ian Anderson, g'day boys, warm me up with some great tunes. All right,
here we go.
I'll give you one. Les Paul likes your shirt. He likes your shirt.
I know, it's good, isn't it? It's Norman's Rare Guitars, which I visited on one of my multitude of trips.
And Chris Gould says he's +1 for a Guitar Colonel t-shirt. We'll do it. Folks, we're going to leave you today with the amazing Paul McCartney
re-recording of Let It Be after all the technical problems were solved. And we'll play out to this one. So, do we do the guitar promo shot quickly before we...
yeah, we'll do it quick.
Let's not do the full 5 minutes of this, shall we?
Where the hell is he?
It must be near the end, surely.
Oh, you would think so.
Well, it's near the end of the London end, so...
Well, maybe he didn't put it on. We might have to go the old...
and then we will get thrown off, ladies and gentlemen, because the internet
we can go to YouTube.
Are not keen on us doing that.
Go to YouTube. You can tell I've prepared... Oh, here we are. Okay, Let It Be. Folks, guitar promo shot. Here we go.
I've got the Let It Be guitar, and
we've got a couple of Les Pauls and a true. That's an original 64.
Yeah.
And we've got the Orville by Gibson. Smile time. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Yeah. And I reckon that Tokai's $700. You said $670.
Man, $700 is yours. It's a bargain.
It's a
awesome.
bargain.
Here we go, folks.
Here we go. In times of trouble, Mother Mary, come to me.
Yes. Oh, there it is.
You didn't tell me how to play it, but I'm going to follow along.
I'll do it open. That's it.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
It's a jazz thing.
When all the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. And though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Oh, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Yes, there'll be an answer. Let it be. When the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I'll wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. All together, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. There will be an answer. Yeah, let it be. Oh, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, come on, let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be. Okay, now you. Let it be. Come on. There will be an answer. Let it be. One more time. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow. Let it be. Let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Oh, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be now. Let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be. Everybody, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be.
Thank you, Paul.
I tell you what, it's a grim day when the Colonel
Yes.
looks at my chords to see what to play next. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached a new low on Shooting the Strings. We're so ill prepared that
We're setting the benchmark for semi-pro.
Yeah.
Semi-pro, the benchmark has been lowered a bit. Thank you, Sir Nigel.
Well,
Oh,
pleasure.
wonderful. You're right about that Let It Be tune.
It's grim. It's grim and
terrible.
a very sad ending. And his participation was largely political to, just wash that for the Conservative government of the time, And that's how music works. It's political, it's social, it sometimes goes wrong, but it's an industry of people with big hearts just trying to give it a go.
And we send our big hearts to all your viewers. I mean, my viewers. I mean, our viewers. And if you like the show, maybe not this particular one, but another one, please subscribe. We need you.
That's number
We're desperate.
96.
96, 100's coming up.
9, 4 to
What
go.
What are we going to do for the big one? Are we going to have a live in store?
I think we just get drunk.
Drunk. All right. Well, we'll
When we
need
go back
Alan
to
for
the
that.
original studio
Oh,
A,
yeah.
and
With the shorts.
sit in our shorts in
Shorts
the high chairs.
with a crotch shot.
Yeah, and get the filthiest old can, we can find. And
That sounds good.
relive the old days, ladies and gentlemen.
Folks, we're out of here. Thank you for watching, everyone. We'll be back next weekend, I think.
Come in and play guitars and buy things.
Come and say hi. Bye-bye.